Well, love is in the air, and so are many pollutants. Today, we'll take you to a Silicon Valley startup who's making you more aware of what you breathe in and how you can monitor it. Welcome to tomorrow's world.
We started as a group of engineers who were at NASA.
And we saw there was a potential to do something beyond what the market had available today.
We thought this is just a fantastic area where we could apply this philosophy into.
We want to give information and awareness to people, to government.
If you have given chance that you can do something, I think you cannot stop yourself.
Take any idea that you have to the next level.
Well, many years ago, we never worried about the food we eat, whether it's organic, whether it's chemical-free, whether it's FDA approved. Well, just like that, today we don't worry about our environment and the air we breathe in, though that is actually an integral part of our health and our well-being. Today, I'll take you to a company called Not Another One, who's created this device, which actually will tell you what is in the air and how you can control the air that you intake. Well, we're now going to talk to Vera. Vera is the CEO of Not Another One. Vera, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell me, how did this company come about? How did you get the people together? How did the thought come in your mind? What did you do step by step?
We have a great team. We've been working together for years in other companies. And then finally, at some day, we decided just to join and create our own company and provide development services for others.
Now, was there like a turning point in your life that you thought that air pollution has to be measured?
Of course. We've been traveling to China quite a lot because we were doing the manufacturing of the other products. And every time we've been there, we were quite concerned about the air pollution, but there were no tools to measure the actual situation in the place where we've been. So you do know that the air is not really nice in China in general, right? But you don't really know if it's dangerous for you in this particular moment, in this particular place. So this is how we came up with the idea to create AtmoTube, a wearable tiny device that you can carry around with you all the time, and it would just tell you the air pollution in real time.
Well, let's back up a little bit. You said you worked for other companies, you were developing other products. Did that really help you to start your own company, and how different is it to be working for a company as opposed to having your own?
Our experience did help us a lot, so the engineering part was quite smooth. However, when we were developing products for others, we didn't really care how to sell them or how to market them. And here, with our own product, we really have to do a lot of work on the business development side, on the go-to-market strategy. And these are quite new things for us, but that's exciting as well.
It's interesting that a lot of companies, when you start, you have to really know all aspects and all elements.
Well, you have to learn quickly, as I just mentioned. So if you don't know something, you really need to get to know this straight away. So there are a lot of ways you can get experience in some other areas that you're not yet familiar with. You can, of course, get some people into your team. You can go to some courses. You can do a lot of stuff.
Now let's talk about, you have this idea, you know we need a product to measure air pollutants, right? Then what do? You have people, you have an idea. What is it that you first think about doing?
Well, it's a teamwork, so everybody in our team basically does its own job, right, in order to make this product happen. We did spend a lot of time for R&D when we were searching for proper components, when we were choosing the right sensors, and we were setting up all the calibration process and everything. So the R&D is probably the main part that we usually start with, and it's probably the longest part in the overall product development.
Now, in this journey, what do you think you've learned the most? I mean, while developing this particular product as an entrepreneur in this whole journey, what has been your learning?
We've learned that the air pollution is quite a difficult thing to measure. For example, we've figured out that most of the plastics in just around us, they do emit certain air pollutants. And if you use these plastics in your product, then the sensor will still detect some slight air pollution and the data readings will be wrong. So we spent probably 4 months just choosing the proper materials that would not be emitting any air pollutants.
Okay. Let's talk about the product. What does it exactly do? Let me understand that first.
Right. So it measures air pollution. It detects a wide range of volatile organic compounds that include formaldehyde, benzene, stolon, and lots of other gases. It detects carbon monoxide as well. It measures temperature and humidity. So it comes with the mobile application. So basically, all the data that it reads, it sends to the mobile app, and then you can see in real time the air pollution, the concentration of volatile organic compounds, humidity, and temperature.
What are the bad elements of the air right now? What are the elements that affect us the most? Let's understand that first.
Oh, there are so many air pollutants around us that we don't really know about, starting from quite general ones like VOCs in smoke, when people are smoking, when we have some fireplace, it emits carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. So there are a lot of air pollutants in household chemicals, for example, and even in this office, the paints on the walls, the carpet.
Sure, there's more pollutants in the air, is that right?
It's more about the wind, I guess. So if you have a wind from the bay, for example, then the air gets a little bit more fresh, definitely, right?
Give us an example that's something you think is very, very alarming in the air right now. We are breathing it, not knowing what it is causing us.
Well, actually, the air here is quite safe.
Okay.
So there are no
They
alarms
made sure
at the
because
moment.
they knew the Atma tube is coming here today.
Of course. But we can move around the office and see in real time whether the situation changes and see if there are any sources of the particular air pollution inside.
What do you think would benefit the most out of this product?
First of all, we're targeting people who already suffer from things like asthma or COPDs. So for them, it's really important to understand the real-time situation, whether their health is in danger right now or not.
Now, does it detect all chemicals? Let's say we take it to a country where there are more chemicals than you find in the US because you did your R&D over here. Would it have the same impact somewhere else where the elements may be completely different because of different atmosphere?
We detect quite a wide range of volatile organic compounds. That's almost 200 different gases. So
You would still have the same result in any other parts of the world is because you've done tests on the 200 VOCs?
well, the pollutants are pretty much the same everywhere. So you get carbon monoxide everywhere, you get formaldehyde everywhere.
And tell me, is there any other product like this in the market yet? I would imagine that countries like, India, China, with that much population and that many chemicals in the air, somebody would have tried to make this, I'm sure.
Of course, there are a lot of products for indoor use, so like stationary air quality monitors, but you can't really take them with you when you go out. There are probably a couple of projects that we've seen that are starting to think about the wearable applications of the air pollution monitors. But I guess we're the first on the market and we're the most affordable and we're also the tiniest.
So right now you're selling it to consumers through stores and other online and other outlets.
Yes.
What is your long-term plan? Do you want to give it to people who are actually causing all the pollution, factories, government offices, and people who take actions on, air pollution?
Of course, that would be ideal. So we want to give information and awareness to people, to government, to all people who care. We are also starting our cooperation with Asthma and Allergy Network in the US. So we will be giving these devices to people who have asthma because for them it's most important to understand the real-time situation and the real-time danger from the air.
It's very interesting that when we eat something, we've started to worry about what goes in our body. And we don't care about what is in here. But, she's actually making us think what we breathe, and I love that about you.
Thank you.
Well, now we are going to go into the technology side of this, and Dimitri has developed the technology. Tell me, this seems quite intense and complicated, and you've been able to capsule that in such a small device. How did you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was quite difficult process to take the Cambridge sensor and to put it to such small device because you should take all the processes into consideration, like temperature, humidity, etc., and to design a PCB layout to make it work.
So explain to me what's happening inside when you're detecting all the pollutants.
Yeah, basically inside there is a small sensor, metal oxide sensor, that detects the pollutants. So, for example, when something changes in the air, the sensor itself changes resistance, and we measure this resistance, took this data and send it to the mobile phone, the level of VOCs, temperature and humidity.
And how does the alert happen?
Basically, in Bluetooth protocol, there is some signal, and the device sends its signal to the phone and tells the level of the VOCs, and the phone makes notifications to the user.
So when you were detecting all the pollutants, did you keep in mind some of the important ones? How did you select what are the ones that you really want to detect? How did you select those?
No, the sensor works different way. It detects the presence of the whole bunch of VOCs, not a particular one, because we tried to make it smaller. To select one particular VOC from the bunch of the range of VOCs, you need a filter. And the filter is quite big, and you can't detect several pollutants at once. So we decided to create a universal device that can detect the whole bunch of VOCs and alert users that something is wrong. As a benefit, you can detect all the VOCs, not just carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide or formaldehyde, but the whole bunch of VOCs.
So it is the resistance that is different for
Yes.
different chemicals in the air?
Yeah, absolutely, but it is very, very complicated task to calibrate sensor to some specific VOCs, because the process of calibration itself is quite complicated. First of all, we take the Atma tube and put it in the clean air. Then we measure the resistance, save it. Then we move it to another box where we put special gas with different bunch of VOCs and measure resistance there.
And when you were developing the design, what was the topmost priority for you? What is the thing that you wanted to accomplish most?
The most one was the size, because we tried to make a portable device, and so people can carry it with him
Everywhere.
everywhere. Yes, exactly.
And when you did that, did you keep in mind that will be carried by some people who may want to look fashionable using it?
Yes, absolutely. That's why we use titanium body, so it looks nice, it's durable, etc.
Now, did you have to compromise on anything to keep it small?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, it's battery size, because if you look inside the Atma tube, there are not so much space to put the battery.
Now, the R&D is done in the US, in the Silicon Valley, or you're doing it somewhere else?
Partly yes, but most of work is done in China. So we have a factory in China and several engineers there.
So it's now getting manufactured in China.
Yeah, right.
So when you designed this, what were you most happy about? That, yay, I got it.
It was the moment when we put all components together and got the final printed PCB, and it worked. And it was most excited moment, because we understood that we did it.
Well, now we get to talk to the CDO of the company, Igor. You designed this beautiful little thing and put so much in there. Tell me what you kept in mind when you were designing this.
Well, the design process itself, it's always a combination of different kind of a play-offs that you should take into account. But here, somehow, it ran quite smoothly. So, as well as the naming itself, the Atma tube, and the form factor that we decided to choose, it just popped out. I don't know, so there was no long time research or something special because of that. So it was we need the sensors, we need the mesh, we need pure materials. okay, titanium, some nice stuff, and then you kind of combining it, and all of a sudden we came up with this kind of a form factor and the design itself.
Now, did this evolve from some other design, or was
Yeah,
it?
of course, of course. We had, well, in the beginning of the product development, we had to choose between different sensors and different technologies that we wanted to utilize. But then we were thinking about the main use case, which is the portability of the product. So we have to kind of get rid of some of the sensors and some of the things in order to make it like really tiny and beautiful. So yes.
You have various colors. Why did you come up with so many colors?
Well, this is the accessory, first of all. I mean, of course, it's a main product, and if you look at it like an accessory, you have a lot of other design things that exist on the market, and you should kind of match those in terms of colors and styles and preferences. So yes, we kind of thinking about the colors right from the beginning.
Walk me through the process. You have the idea, you have the product, you know what has to go in it. How do you start thinking about who will be using it and take some kind of a feedback from what will work, what will not work? Because when you come up with the product, it has to appeal to a whole range of people, because almost anybody can use this. What is that process when you finally come up with what will suit everyone, what everyone is going to like?
Well, I think it's a myth that most of the people who produce devices, they kind of know at the beginning or at the end who's going to fit. So in our case, due to the fact that we're a small company, we're not a huge like industrial manufacturing facility, we were unable to run like marketing research or to get the user's feedback. So we were basically in the situation of the corridor testing. So we were playing with the design form factors, we were playing with the features, we were playing and receiving like kind of internal feedback, first of all. Of course, we Googled a lot. I mean, you have to Google a lot. And kind of we're looking into the features. So that was the process in our case, not like too classical one, but still quite fun.
So tell me, what was it that made you choose this particular size, color, dimension, and how did you know that people will see and all kinds of people might get attracted to it?
I've said before that we're not a big company and we're not relying on the marketing aspects of the things. We first of all wanted to create the product that we personally like. And because if you follow in the crowd a lot, in the end you will get like disposable, in most of the cases, disposable shiny plastics and everything. But we wanted to go into more of a premium and kind of a luxury segment. So we were focusing on the details, on the materials, of the look and feel. We had I guess 20 samples of different finishing in order just to feel smooth in your hands. And for instance, that different hands with different races, for instance, they kind of hum it in different way. So we were playing with also this kind of feeling. As for the colors, stated before that we just mentioned the other colors of the other devices. But the design itself, I don't think that it's kind of a cultural or universal or should be universal. The team that makes the design should like the design, first of all, and it should follow its function. Here, the function is followed. The design, we perceive the design that is beautiful. All the materials that we use are super friendly.
What is the bigger goal with this? I mean, this is something part of us that stays with us forever and ever, right? But yet, there's not been that many research or gadgets to detect what we are breathing in. There has to be a bigger goal with this that you want to achieve and accomplish.
For us, I would describe it in kind of 3 steps. The first step is we wanted to raise awareness about this problem. I mean, the air pollution, the air quality indoors and outdoors. The second one is the change of your behavior once you start to utilize that product. So you're becoming aware about certain aspects of your life that you were not aware about. For instance, everybody knows that the air is bad somewhere on the crosses, right? But you never actually thought about that. And the third thing, I guess it's the overall contribution to the global air pollution map. So each Atma tubes contributes its data, and we build the overall air pollution map. And we're planning to run different researchers like with different companies to understand what's the correlation between the VOCs or carbon dioxide or monoxide poisoning with people who suffer from asthma or allergies. So this might really kind of help, I guess, to some people who are concerned about this issue to be more aware about the fact that their air is bad or good. So there are a lot of things and a lot of plans, but I won't be able to actually describe this here in such a short interview.
Well, I wish you good luck, and the next 5 years I'm going to be back, maybe not in this office, but somewhere else, and we will talk about how it scaled up.
Thank you.
Well, experiments have proven that even a small amount of carbon monoxide can be detrimental to your brain. So let us be more cognizant of the air we breathe in. The small device is actually very promising to monitor what is around you. We'll find out how the market takes it. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Till then, be more aware of the air around you.